And I want to, by a show of hands real quick, who all is on this 90-day run full-time, or are you part-time? So if you're full-time, raise your hand. Let me see. I'm going to scroll through here and see how many full-timers we have. So the majority of people in Legal Shield are part-time, right? I mean, I consider myself more full-time now, but I was part-time for 6 years. And whenever I was trying to do a 90-day run, I was so excited about it. I knew they worked. I've heard hundreds of testimonies. I've seen it firsthand with my friends doing them, and it really changing their life. And whenever I tried to do what they were doing, it was really more just a 90-day burnout. Can anybody relate that's what it ended up being like for me, because I was trying to do stuff that they were doing, but they didn't have anything else to do. And they had that time freedom I didn't have yet. So I know y'all are in the smack dab middle, or maybe like towards the almost like the second half of your 90-day run. So I'm just going to bring a few tips that I know have helped me and are helping me right now. I have signed up a few dozen members this month, and I attribute it to the tips I'm going to share you right now. I'm sure someone has told you about time blocking in the last 56 days. But no matter if you're full-time or part-time, time blocking is so important. Here's why. Boundaries matter. Your time matters. Your family matters. Your mental health and spiritual health matters. Whenever I first did my first 90-day run, I told my wife, hey, we ain't talking for 90 days. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, hey, look, we can't hang out for 90 days. I got to do this only. So that was a bad idea. My wife hated the word 90-day run and Legal Shield because of that for like a couple of years, until I was able to earn her her allegiance back, till she wasn't competing with Legal Shield anymore for my love and my affection, my attention. So in the time blocking, write this down: date night. Okay. It's okay to at least have one date night a week in the middle of your 90-day run to make sure that you are nurturing your closest relationships. All right. So time block. If you have a job, make sure that okay, well, I could time block, 5 to 9. If I'm working from 9 to 5, 5 to 9 is whenever I'm doing X amount of follow-ups, X amount of exposures, and you really have to track it. I love, if you don't track your records, you'll never break your records. If you don't track what you're doing on a daily basis, you'll never break the records that you're setting on a daily basis. And that was my biggest mistake for my first 6 years, was keeping track. I've got ADD. That could be an excuse, but there are excuses for not doing things should be the reason that we do. Right? ADD is an excuse not to document things, not to track things. ADD is an excuse for me to be bad at administration. But I want to tell you today that I've changed my mindset. That's now the reason that I have to double down on my tracking. I have to double down on recording, keeping records of what I do on a daily basis, so that I can break the records that I set for myself and for my goals, for my business and my family. So time block. Just tell your loved one, hey, look, this is the last quarter, the last 40, 30, 39 days, or however many days are left in this 90-day run. This is, just let them know, hey, look, during this time frame, I cannot do anything else. So please find, whatever it is, we got to handle it before or after that. I love you, but I'm committed to our goal, to these goals for our future, for a better life for our family. So let's just make sure we handle stuff. And look, you got to do what you say you're going to do. Okay. I know. So that first nugget, I know that's a lot of information, but time block, just reiterate your time blocking, double down on your time blocking, making sure that no distractions are. Look, if any of y'all are on social media, critical stuff about, you are not committed to your 90-day run. So if anything, you should let the time that you sit on the toilet be the only time you're on Facebook, and you better limit that to 5 minutes, or you are totally messing up your 90-day run. Okay. I'm guilty of that. All right. I'm guilty of being on Facebook and social media and stuff too long, talking about stuff that is not beneficial to my business and to my future and to helping others. All right. The next tip, and I know y'all are halfway through. I didn't know what day y'all are on, but have a minimal plan, like a minimal goal every single day. If you don't, I mean, definitely have a maximum goal, but a minimum goal as well. So you're on day 52. I don't know what your goals are, but 5 new exposures a day for part-time people can absolutely change your life. 5 new people seeing the information and getting their questions answered every single day. I don't know what your numbers are, but like if you're part-time, 5 will be a lot after the second week, because you'll have 50 people in your pipeline that you're having to follow up and catch up with. But just have a minimal goal. And if you miss your maximum goal, make sure you don't miss your minimum goal. There's no excuses. I don't care if your wife is pregnant, if you're pregnant, if there's a car wreck, you better be prospecting the police officer. You better be prospecting somebody who from the insurance company that calls you, whatever it is. Make sure that you have your minimum goals always get met every single day. The next day you can catch up. You know that on day 52, you've got 38 days left to catch up on your goal if you miss some, if you get behind. So consistency is everything, right? It's everything. Consistency, focusing on your exposures per day, your follow-ups per day, you're communicating with your team per day. Consistency is absolutely everything. You cannot go to the gym once a week or twice a week, sometimes even 3 times a week, and expect to get good results. It's the same with this business. You have to nurture your leads and your prospects every single day. The prospect app makes it so easy for us to keep track of everybody, what they said when we called them. They weren't available. That call Daniel, left a voicemail. Go back through these every single day. There's been a proven statistic through one of the top sales coaching organizations in the world that said that the person that you respond to immediately after a phone call with a text message has exponential over 300% more likely to buy from you. So I guess my third tip would be just to follow up immediately. Do what you say you're going to do. Be a person, be a man or woman of your word. Last night on our team call, we talked about integrity, and integrity is not just doing the right thing when no one is looking. It's also doing what you say you're going to do, being a person of your word, a person of truth. How can we expect someone else to do what they say they're going to do if we don't do what we say we're going to do? Eric Worre's 90-day run training talks about setting the expectation. Say, hey, Daniel, this is Andy. Listen, man, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm really excited about what I'm working on, changing lives, really protecting and empowering people. And you may or may not be interested, but if I sent you a video, would you watch it today? Yes, I will. Okay, fantastic, man. What time can you watch it today? 7 o'clock. Okay, perfect. Well, listen, it's a 22-minute video, so I'm going to call you back at 7:30. Sound good? I've confirmed 3 times that they're going to watch it. Hey, yes, I'll watch it today. Yes, I'll watch it at 7:20. Yes, you can call me back at 7:30 because I will have watched it. So whenever I tell Daniel I'm calling him back at 7:30, the phone better be ringing at 7:30. Oh, this was my biggest setback, was not doing what I said I was going to do. Diane, everybody has their own favorite video. Okay. There's any of those videos on the opportunity section of the mobile app work great. I've been sending the Darnell Self opportunity video from Prospect app, and I just love it. I don't know why. I just feel like I relate to it a little more than the other ones. But watch the videos yourself so you know what's in them, so you know what people are seeing. So make sure that that it resonates with you. But the immediate follow-up is so important. So nurture your leads. I did make a few notes, Daniel, so I could try to stay on track. Nurture your leads. Pressure makes diamonds. There's nothing wrong with pressure. The right proportion of pressure. Sometimes pressure looks like calling back whenever you say that you're going to call back, no matter what time it was that you said you're going to call back. Sometimes pressure looks like as soon as you get off that phone with them, and maybe they didn't sign up right away, that you send them a quick article or one of the links that we have in the Prospect app that's like, top 10 reasons to get your will done, or 101 reasons to have legal shield, or information about one of the data breaches. Say, hey, then listen, I just saw this and thought of you. I wanted to make sure that you saw this right away because I know this is important to you. Whatever that is, whatever it is you're dealing with, each prospect is the same thing: protection, peace of mind, whatever. So the goal is to time block properly. Make sure you meet your minimum goals. Stay consistent with that every single day. Personally, I take a Sabbath day, so I might have a 90-day run, but my 90-day run goes an extra few days than most people. Or I started a few days earlier than most people, because I'm not going to let something come between my personal day that I take to nurture my spiritual and mental health and my relationship with God, number one. Because God can open up way more doors in 6 days than I can open up in 7 days or 90 days. I can't tell you how that's changed my life this year. Doors of opportunity has been open wide. And look, even if you don't believe that, try it, test it. I guarantee you're going to find out that, wow, there is a supernatural power at work. And whenever I honor that and respect that, stuff happens. Okay, I know I was not invited to preach on here this morning, but just remember that without pressure, nobody makes any decisions. Nobody. We do not make decisions without pressure. If you knew and you didn't have any money whatsoever, okay, and you knew that you're driving down the road and the gas tank is going to E, that eventually you're going to run out of gas. You know what that is? Pressure. That's pressure that you see. Everything has pressure, and it's a good thing. It helps us make good decisions for ourselves. It is a good idea to keep your tank full with gas in case of emergency. It is a good idea to make sure you have enough money to pay your power bills, pay your water bill, make sure that you take care of your family. It is a good idea. If it wasn't for the fact that knowing everybody's going to die, nobody would ever get a will done. Nobody would ever have life insurance. If it wasn't a fact that so many people have car wrecks, no one would have the pressure or the necessity to have a car insurance. So I think one of my biggest sales point this month that has really taken people from let me think about it to go ahead and put it through is the diagram where I just draw on the back of a piece of paper. My sit down ratios are way better than I have to double or triple the videos versus the sit down ratios to actually get my numbers. But so far in the last couple of weeks, the people that were on the fence, whenever I showed them the diagram, it's here's what you spent. What do you spend on life insurance? What do you spend? I'm just drawing on a napkin or a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, the back of their application, whatever. I'm like, all right, so how much do you spend on health insurance? How much you spend on life insurance? How much you spend on car insurance? How much you spend on your phone insurance? What other insurances do you have? And I kind of just make this big circle, and I put a circle in the middle. And I said, how much are you paying for the insurance that's going to make sure all these other ones do what they say they're going to do? You're making this huge investment right here. What are you doing? How much are you spending on making sure that they keep your best interest in mind and they do what they say they're going to do? If it, and I try to use that analogy. So I guess my final and closing thoughts, I don't know how much time I don't know if I've gone over time or what. The school bell just rang here where I am. So maybe that's my signal to close out. But, people really deep down inside respect you whenever you ask them the right questions, and you ask them questions that are about what they care about. So I heard it said by one of Tony Robbins' top trainers, like his right-hand man was able to speak with him 2 weeks ago. And he said, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you ask. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you ask. And that goes all the way from your personal life and your decisions all the way to your success in business. The quality of your 90-day run is determined by the quality of questions that you ask your prospects. There's no better way to close someone than a question. I'm sure Mr. Gonzalez has given y'all the closing scripts before. I'm sure you've heard it in your fast start training classes, the 3-step close or the 4-question close. What did you like best about what you saw? On a scale of 1, you have make sure you have a script of some closing questions that you can ask. So what did you like best about what you saw? One of my favorite ones is, what did you like best about what you saw? What was the other? Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Sorry, it's so unprofessional. But so what did you like best about what you saw? For this to be a win for you, how much money would you need to make on a regular basis? And then how much time do you have on a daily basis to put into this? What's your financial goal? Like with that time allowed, how much money would you like to be making, putting in X amount of time per day that you've already said you have available? How much money, and sometimes people give me a crazy number and I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, quick question, Mr. Gonzalez, at your job right now, we just did the math and that's $270 an hour for the time that you're able to put in at your job right now. Do they pay you that for the time that you're there? No. I try to help people. I try to set real expectations. Everybody who's got fired up about this, and I said, we're going to go and get rich, and they didn't get rich immediately. The majority of them, dipped out. And that's not their fault. That's not the company's fault. That's my fault for not setting the proper expectations. I started my first business with a weed eater, and it turned into a multiple six-figure landscaping company with 3 crews and 9 employees and stuff. I mean, it got pretty big, but that was hard work to get to 6 figures annually for me. It's going to be hard work to get. It's hard work with this company to get to 6 figures, but there's no other opportunity right now that I would take. I got a job offer yesterday, a 6-figure job offer yesterday from another company, and I did not accept it because I know that there's no greater opportunity than to scale other services that can actually stop us from accomplishing our. Just now starting to see some fruit for that. The is a product of what you did 2 or 3 months ago. You're going to see the biggest results from your business in this 90-day run 30 to 60 days after the 90-day run is up, because it takes more. And the only 2% of leads close the first in the first exposure. 2%. 48% of people never follow up after the second no. 80% of people that are in sales never follow up. Y'all, these are real stats. I'm not just pulling these out of a hat. I just want to encourage y'all that, no matter where you are right now in your business, no matter what is holding you feel like might be holding you back, some restrictions that you might have in your own beliefs, just remember that whatever the reason that people are not buying is the same reason that you don't buy. If you're getting the same answer from everybody, I just don't have. Most of the time, it's been proven through studies that that you're treating customers like you handle situations. So if you're getting the same answer from people that are telling you no every single time, you need to look at your own belief system, say no to a sale, why that is. I used to sign up for this because they didn't have the money. And then I realized that if they don't have the money, look, and I'm all about writing good business. It's another thing I talked about last night. Oh no, it's breaking up. Sorry, I just got a note saying that it was breaking up. Is it clearer now? Is it any better now? Kind of. Okay, so where was I landing this plane? And then Mr. Gonzalez, you just cut me off whenever you're ready for me to drop, because I've got 3 more minutes till I have to rock and roll with something else. But retention. Thank you, Mary. It's so important to write good business, and you don't want to. I've qualified for every single incentive trip in the last 7 years, but I didn't get to go to Jamaica because one person dropped off the books, and I didn't understand retention at the time, how important it was. One person dropped off the books, and I missed the trip because of retention. I already qualified, did everything I was supposed to do, but then right at the end of the qualifying period, the last day, my retention dropped. like a fraction below what it had to be to go on the trip. So I say that carefully whenever I'm telling you that if somebody doesn't have the money to have this service, they can't afford to not have it. We have to change our stinking thinking to change our stinking life. So be sure that whenever you're doing this, you're going through this 9-day run, that people that come on board as associates would keep the membership, whether they were an associate or not. Because the fact of the matter is, everyone has the opportunity to make a change in their life with this business, but very few will do what it takes to take it all the way. And that's okay. That's okay. Just know this in closing, I promise. In closing, just know that if we follow the system and we help them get plugged into the system, plugged into the trainings, go to Fast Start training, attend convention, they're going to learn things that change their life forever. And they're going to look back, whether they're in the business for 2 months or 2 years. If we do it the right way, they're going to look back no matter what, how much money they make or didn't make, and they'll thank God for you inviting them on the journey of Legal Shield because of what they learned, because of who they became in the period of time that they were here. It's not what you get, it's who you become that changes your life with Legal Shield and changes every aspect of your life because of the things that we get here. So keep going strong on your 90-day run. I can't wait to hear about stories and testimonies. Can't wait to see y'all at convention. Thank you so much, Mr. Gonzalez, for letting me come in and speak to y'all for a little bit this morning. And yeah, I want to turn it back over to you, sir.